does Islam allow minors to be married? What age minors? Long time ago, minor age was different than the minor age right now. Now we call somebody who is under 18 years old a minor. Back then, somebody who is under the puberty is minor. And let me go ahead and define puberty for you. What puberty is. According to Britannica Encyclopedia, it's not even an Islamic encyclopedia, saying that is the stage at which a child transforms into an adult by nature capable for procreation. Capable for procreation. So they can actually have relationship with the opposite sex and have children. I have a friend of mine that she's not a Muslim. She's an American. She's 17 years old and she already has 3 children outside of the wedlock. 2 of these kids have a different father than the other one. So what I'm saying over here, that the women, their sexual relationship choices, they allow them to have sex, and they recommend that they use protection, of course, so they don't have any children, but they have children anyway, right? But they're not allowed to get married. I think this is just a double standard of the Western view of what marrying means. Marriage is supposed to be that the man protect the woman and the woman is in the family and she feels secured and that there's someone who is providing for her and taking care of her, not to be a single woman just because she's a minor and having a child while she's a mother, she doesn't know what she's doing. Okay, so this is actually wrong. Some people, they say, well, this is all traditional marriage and it's wrong because the woman should actually know the guy. She's supposed to get to know him, even sexually, to try before she gets married. Well, let me tell you something. In some remote villages and some remote cities that everybody knows everybody, right? The father doesn't really need to try that man to know if he's good or bad because everybody knows everybody. They all have the same culture. They eat the same food. They do the same things, right? So, and they know each other families. They know each other tribes. So they know what is right and what is wrong. Does the father has to have a consent for his daughter to get married? Yes, just to tell her that there is someone that he wants to get married to you. And then the girl can say yes or no, but he cannot just force her and tell her, oh, okay, you know what, there is this, your cousin, you have to marry him or something like that. There's nothing like that. So the man in the same tribe or different tribe were all pretty much have the same characteristics. Therefore, it wasn't hard for the wali or the guardian or the father to know if this man was a bad man or a good man. Everyone knew everyone, so people could determine if the husband is good or not before marriage. That's why the woman didn't have much say about it. The girl was excused to see the man or marry him before. We have some stories of the Prophet ﷺ when a man asked the Prophet ﷺ, I want to marry off my daughter to this guy. And the Prophet ﷺ, he did not recommend it. He said, don't do that because he has a very hard hand. In other words, that he beats the women. And so he knows that beating a woman is haram and it is not good. He recommended that this man is no good for his daughter. Right? What I'm saying here, people long time ago in the tribes, they knew each other and they knew who is a good man, who has a bad temper, or who is a good man, who is a generous man, who do good deeds and so on. Now let's talk about the age at our times. Now in our times, the girl can marry around 23, 24. They say, well, she needs to establish herself, she needs to finish her education, and then after she finish her education and then she can marry. 23, 24, that's just the average. But let's go and talk about the girls that they are in villages and they live in remote places. You see that the girl usually marry between 16, 17, 18. And I know some sisters here that they are refugees from Syria. They were in the camps in Jordan or in Turkey. And once they reach the 16 years old or even 15 years old, they got married and they start having children. Why? Because the girl who lives in a village and they don't have schools, or let's say that she does not have that motivation to go to a university and finish school and all that. All what she thinks about really is that when I grow up, I'm just going to marry a good man, and this good man, he's going to provide for me. He's going to be good to my children. I will be secured. I will feel happy, and I will feel, good by being with him. Okay. So that's all what they think about. Now let's talk about at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, about 1,400 years ago. They didn't have no colleges, they didn't have any schools, they didn't have any universities. So women at that time, all what they thought about is, hey, when I'm gonna grow up and reach the puberty, I'm gonna get married to a good man. And this good man is going to provide for me, and I want to have children, and I want those children to carry my name and my husband's name. That's all what they care about, right? Let's look at some statistics over here. You see that until now, until our days, and I think this statistics is, I think it's 2020 or something like that, we see that the age of sexual consent around the world is under 18. It's only in Europe and in, let's say, in America, that is 18 years old. So, for example, we have Uruguay is 13, Argentina is 13, Ghana is 16, France is 15. Bahrain is 15, Australia is 16, Japan is 13, and let's look at Philippines is 12. Now, someone would say, oh, 12 is too low. How is that happening? How is that wrong? Is that really an abuse, and that this is a sexual, like, let's say, like assault for a girl to get married when she's 12? Well, we have to look at it in two different ways. First of all, well, saying something wrong, then we should specify, is it wrong according to the law or according to the culture? If the culture says okay, then okay, approved. There is nothing wrong. But let's look at the law. Statutory rape is defined as sex with minors below the age of consent. All right. But in Philippines, the age of consent is 12 years old. This means that sex with a child as young as 12 is not automatically considered child rape. The child has to undergo a traumatic experience, and he has to have some kind of trauma to prove that this in the court, that this is a rape or this is a sexual assault. The problem is not really with the culture or the law. The problem is when people try to manipulate the religion, and they try to manipulate and say, hey, you know what, you're still young. This is considered rape if someone sleeps with you while you are under, let's say, 16. But let's say that this girl actually, she had a consent that this guy actually sleeps with her. So is that considered a rape? No, it's not. The Philippines has the lowest age to determine statutory rape in Asia and one of the lowest in the world. The global means is 16. Don't judge people according to our law and traditions. Look at that. In Romania, in 2003, they had a 12 years old bride married, 9 years old, that she already have a child. She is ready to be a mother. That's in Thailand in 2001. What we say is minor. According to the science, being a minor, that doesn't mean that she's under 18 years old, but under puberty. So Islam, of course, forbid men to marry any girls that they are under puberty. But he allows, if the girl is ready physically and emotionally to get married and have children, to get married to her, even if she's under 18 years old. I hope that will answer your question.